Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Walt DeKay, broadcasting Dr. Walt DeKay's Cryptozoology World. Here we are in Tin City, Texas, and I'm reaching out to you. Brazo, what airwaves are these on? What's the frequency?
I can
tell people what the list.
It's on the internet, Uncle Walt.
What the hell are you talking? No. You listen to me. Now, we did the first one of these a few weeks ago, and I've been driving around town, and I've been on pretty much every radio station we can get here in Tin City, and I haven't heard that show.
It's not going to
so
be on the radio.
I don't know where in the hell you're
it's
sending
on the
this
internet,
to.
Uncle Walt. Look, it's not.
You know what? I don't even understand what you're talking about most of the time. I'm sorry, folks. I'll find a way to cut that out, maybe. I don't know. Just shut up, Brazo. All right. So here we are again with Cryptozoology World. We're going to be talking about cryptozoology topics and a little bit about my career, I think, as the most relevant and accomplished cryptozoologist of the past 50 years. Now, I was hoping to have some guests on the program today, but I don't think we're quite geared up for that. Thank you very much, Brazo. We do have a few letters that I can read, and we can talk a little bit about people's questions in the state of cryptozoology. And I think that I will start off with this first letter that I received. It wasn't a regular letter. It kind of interesting. It was an electronic letter, an electronic mail, and this person asked, "Dear Mr. DeKay, it is Dr. DeKay. Please remember it is Dr. DeKay. I have a PhD, and it is Doctor. So, dear, I'll just kind of edit this on the air for you, dear Dr. DeKay. I am very interested in reports of living ground sloths in the United States, in mountainous regions such as the Appalachians, and places such as the Ozark Mountains in Missouri, where I live. What can you tell me about sightings of these creatures?" Signed, Elizabeth Drew, and she's writing to me from Moosehead, Missouri. Well, Elizabeth, thank you for writing into my show. And that is a very interesting topic. Now, most people are familiar with the cuddly sloths that we see on television or in movies, and they don't know anything about the mighty, terrifying giant ground sloths that stalked the plains and the forests during the Ice Age. And admittedly, I don't know much about them physiologically. I never really studied giant ground sloths. I mostly just, saw some TV episodes about them. But they do look really large, and it's entirely possible, given the many forested areas throughout the United States that are very rarely visited, that gigantic creatures such as the giant ground sloths could still have survived. And possibly, and this is what I find very exciting, is the idea that they may be living, claw in hand, with that most fascinating of all cryptids, the big feet. They may have developed synergistic relationships. The big feet may ride them around or use them for food, or maybe the sloths use the Bigfoots for food. I mean, the possibilities are nearly limitless when you don't limit yourself to relying on evidence to come up with conjecture. So it's really fascinating stuff. Now, we haven't seen any evidence of giant ground sloths here in the Panhandle Mountains, which admittedly does not diminish the possibility that they're there, because we haven't seen any physical evidence of Bigfoot there either. But we know that Bigfoot is there. based on all of the many reports by the 2 or 3 people that have consistently reported him in this area. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that there is almost a 100% chance that a relic population of giant ground sloths currently stalks the forests of North America. So, hikers, you better watch out. Now, I'd like to take a moment to talk about a subject that's very close to my heart. There's a group, an organization of scientists and dreamers who have come together to try and find a way to improve scientific literacy in the United States. Now, I'm not talking about your mainstream scientists, those fat cats with their giant 7- and 8-figure salaries living in their mansions. This is not the group for them or by them. This is a special group of people on the cutting edge of sciences and super sciences like cryptozoology and phrenology and cold fusion, free energy. And we call our organization the World Information Parsing Experience. And it is something that is going to change lives, folks, absolutely. WIPE is in the process of organizing productions all over the country, presentations by experts like myself in their respective fields, where we can teach people about real science, as long as they're open-minded enough to learn. Now, WIPE embraces all of the great pseudosciences, the super sciences that are available to anyone who knows how to access the internet. And so we want to work to reverse the damage that has been done by these so-called mainstream experts. But to be clear, WIPE, it isn't just an organization, it's a type of person. The sort of individual that doesn't get boxed in by convention, who's willing to think outside the box. The sort of individual who doesn't just accept things like the Earth is a globe based on what they happen to hear on television. I like Star Trek too, but what's on there, it doesn't mean it's real. You'll learn critical thinking skills that help you separate ridiculous notions from so-called science, and separate those out from the hard-won work and theories by individuals working in ancient Egypt technology and free energy research. And like my friends working on cold fusion like to say, you'll find that you can get something from nothing. That's WIPE, folks. I hope to see you there. So let's go to our next letter. These are fascinating. I always enjoy reading the fruits of intellectual curiosity by people all over the country. So let's see what our next letter has to say. Dear Dr. DeKay. Oh, that's a good start. And let me add, this is another electronic letter, so we are cutting edge on Dr. Walt DeKay's Cryptozoology World. No expense spared. Dear Dr. DeKay, I had a personal experience with Bigfoot. This is very interesting. I live in the state of Kansas, and I once saw Bigfoot crossing a highway. I knew that it was Bigfoot because I had been drinking a lot. All right, we're going to set this one aside for now. We may come back to it. I mean, it's got a good start to it, but let's move on to another. This one is a physical letter that I was sent. I don't know how in the hell they got my address. I have to look into that. I have to talk to the cops about that. Not that the Tin City Police are good for much. Dear Dr. DeKay, I saw your name in one of Ivan Sanderson's books. Ivan Sanderson said near the end of the book that he could beat you up. I don't remember that. The hell book was that? What the hell? I think that he could because I think he's stronger than you are, and you don't sound on your show like you could defend yourself. You listen here. Now, for one thing, Ivan Sanderson is dead, so I feel pretty confident that I can take him in a fight. But for another thing, Ivan Sanderson was a pasty punk with a New England accent you could cut with a knife. He wasn't a real man like me. I'm from Texas. I grew up in Tin City. This is ridiculous. Nobody calls me a wimp. I'm Walt DeKay, Dr. Walt DeKay. I have gone on expeditions in some of the most remote parts of the United States. I mean, remote-ish. A lot of trees. There are many trees in a lot of those locations. And if you think it's easy just walking around with a bunch of trees, clearly you've never tried it. All right. You know, this isn't worth getting upset over. I don't know who the hell these people are. You know, you put yourself out there. You try and give people the benefit of your expertise. And, you know, it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. A bunch of goddamn nobodies write your letters, and it's shit like this. Unbelievable.
You want to hear from the people, right? You want to hear from regular...
Can I curse on the air, Brazo? I mean, that's against the FCC or something,
it's not
right?
the FCC, Uncle Walt. It's on the internet.
I don't know what you're talking about. You know, I don't know why the hell I even asked you
internet.
questions. You don't know anything. All right, so... let's see if we have any other letters here that we can read. Okay, here's another. Dear Decay Dude. This is not starting off very well, is it? Dear Decay Dude. I am from New Mexico, and here we have a giant owl that lives in our state. We call it, what the hell is this? We call it Big Hoot. Big Hoot. I've never heard of Big Hoot. I'm a goddamn I'm the goddamn cryptozoologist. I've never heard of Big Hoot. Big Hoot can be dangerous to campers and hikers. What the hell is this? Was this written by a bunch of drunken frat boys or what? Let me see. I gotta see. What's the signature on it? Of course, no signature on it. Bunch of stains on the paper. They smell like beer. Okay. So this was an experiment. You know, answering letters. This was an experiment. You never quite know what you're gonna get. I probably should have read a few of these before I began recording. Maybe we can go back and re-record this stuff. I don't really know how this technology works, but I am unhappy with the quality of correspondence which I have received to this point.
It's worth hearing.
What are you talking about? Why should I be interested in what the people have to say?
Well, I mean, these are your
you know what?
Uncle,
I'd be more
Uncle
interested in your opinion, Brazo, if you had ever gotten your GED.
I did get my GED. You just didn't go to the graduation ceremony.
Well, why would I want to hang out with a bunch of goddamn high school dropouts? I mean, you tell me that. What do I have in common with them? I'm a PhD, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, kind of.
Now, you know, look, yeah, do you even know what GED stands for?
Yeah, I do. Do you know what GED
Shut up,
stands
Brazo. Hey, all right, enough of this. So, I'm not sure we're going to keep this episode. I'm going to have to go back and see if we can edit some things. But, we might be able to clean it up and keep it on the roster so we can send it off to the radio company, however the hell that works. So anyway, I think we're going to end this experiment here, and next time, hopefully, we will have some guests that we can talk to and get a real substantive discussion of issues in cryptozoology. But for now, I'm going to sign off. I am Dr. Walt DeKay. I am the cryptozoologist. And I'm signing off.